မင်္ဂလာပါခင်ဗျကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီနေ့ online နဲ့ပေါ့လေဒီလိုသင်တန်းလေးလောက်ရတဲ့ဥစ္စာမှာလဲအားလုံးတက်ရောက်ပြီးတဲ့အတွက်လဲဝမ်းသာပါတယ်နောက်အထူးဖြင့်တော့ဒီပွဲဖြစ်အောင် organize လုပ်ဖြစ်တဲ့
Thank you everyone for attending today, and thanks for those who organized this event, Carolyn, Tiara. We've been postponing for a long time, but we finally made it. This workshop is vital for conservation work in Myanmar. I'm glad to be part of this workshop, and I hope everyone get to learn something today. We'll be presenting two topics today, and although everyone knows about the Gibbon conservation, but I want to go through about our conservation effort throughout this time. To start with the background,
group ပေါ့လေเนาะဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ primate မှာရှိတဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ family halopatic group မှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့ဒီမှာက Gibbon ကသူက genus 4ခု
in a primate group, halopatic with 4 genuses. With these 4 genuses. These are the 4 different species with their very significant features. The first species used to be present in down south in the Nindai region, but we don't have any more data to confirm that with recent sighting. The second one is the most well-known of the hulok in Myanmar, with 3 subspecies in this hulok. In Nomascus, you can see the crest on the head. Nomascus species has crest on their heads. Smallest of all the gibbons are the dwarf gibbons. There's 9 species in dwarf gibbons. There's 2 genuses in Myanmar, hulok and hylobates. This is the differentiation of all the different gibbons. This is the Nomascus group with special species. Nomascus genus is not present in Myanmar. We have 2 species present in Myanmar in terms of hylobates. These are all the different gibbons found throughout the world. Gibbons are mainly present in Southeast Asia, with some in Yunnan, China, Eastern India, in Bangladesh.
Tropical rainforest
The gibbons love tropical rainforest. This is a typical rainforest that gibbon loves to habitat. Gibbons love forested area, and deforestation leads to decline in their population. In terms of gibbons in Myanmar, we can find 4 species in Myanmar. You have Western Hulock, Eastern Hulock, Skywalker Hulock gibbon, founded in 2017. In terms of distribution, like Professor Fan said yesterday, Mika River, GH refers to Gongligong, the former name for Skywalker gibbons. So this is the confirmed area for Skywalker gibbons between the Mika River and Danlin River. For Eastern Hulock, you'll find them between the Irrawaddy and
Hulock genus boundary
in terms of boundaries, on the eastern side, you have the first boundary, Danlin River. Brahmaputra is the westernmost boundary for the gibbons. Between the Danlin River and Brahmaputra River, you have 3 Hulock gibbons. Eastern Hulock is confined between Chindwin and Irrawaddy River. The question mark denotes a special interest area for us. After Dr. Fan's presentation yesterday, there might be new species to be found in Myanmar. White-handed gibbons are more present in down south of Myanmar. What's special about Myanmar is we have 3 different gibbon genuses in Myanmar. Eastern Hulock can be almost called endemic species because only a small minority can be found in India. The question mark area it's an area of special interest because there might be new species there. Before we move forward, I would like to give a sense about how Myanmar gibbons are?
sorry အတန်ကြားလားမသိဘူးเนาะကျွန်တော်အတန်ဟိုဖြစ်မှာဆိုလို့
ကြားတယ်ဗျ
ကြားတယ်
ဗီဒီယိုကအတန်ကြားတယ်เนาะဟုတ်
โอเคကြားတယ်
ဟုတ် ဟုတ်ဒါကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဟိုပါပေါ့နောက်ပိုင်းမျက်ခုံးဖြူမြောင်လွှဲကျော်ဟိုအဖွဲ့ပါဒါနေရာကတော့ဒါမကွေးတိုင်းမန်းကျိုးပိုင်းတွေကတနေရာမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်
This is the eastern Hulab gibbons found in Ngwe division. This is a video just to get a sense of what gibbons are in Myanmar.
နေရာတိုင်းလိုလိုပါပဲကျွန်တော်တို့တိရစ္ဆာန်တို့အကုန်လုံးလိုလိုကြုံတွေ့နေရတဲ့
The threats to gibbon,
ပေါ့နော်နေဒေတာပေါ့နေထိုင်ရဒေတာတွေရဲ့
which is a main threat to all wildlife,
တက်တော်တွေကလုံးဝပျောက်သွားတဲ့ဟာရှိတယ်
is facing is total deforestation in some areas. Some forested area decline in their grade. What used to be 100 fruit-bearing plants in 1 hectare has reduced to 10 trees in 1 hectare. Second problem is fragmentation. Unlike birds, there isn't a problem for fragmentation in birds. Tigers as well. But for gibbons, if we make a road right in the middle of a forest, they can no longer swim from one side of the road to the other. And one group cannot engage with another group and that thus has problem with hunting and gathering of fruits. Another problem is hunting, which is the problem facing all wildlife in Myanmar. This is the area of habitat loss in Myanmar. Here you can see forests, trees cut down for agriculture. From 2000 to 2018, these red areas, the place where we see significant habitat loss. You can see also habitat loss in Bangladesh and India area as well. In Kayakaran range, there's great change in this Kayakaran range. In Yakayoma, you'll see drastic change in the northern part of the range. With loss of forests, gibbons lose their habitat. Like Dr. Fan said yesterday, people mainly hunt to gather the skull. People believe that the skull helps with epilepsy, but some would keep it as souvenir. Luck has it especially in Kachin state, we have a lot of hunting in Nagaland. In Nagaland, you have people selling, trading, and eating by themselves. If we go further south in Chin state, they don't have any tradition in terms of hunting gibbons. They do hunt, but nothing in particular for gibbons. It is also same for the Gibbon region. Hunting pressure is more significant in the northern area, northern Kachin state.
အဲ့တော့နောက်တစ်ချက်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဆက်သွားရရင်ဒါခုနပြဿနာတွေပေါ့လေပြဿနာတွေပြီးတဲ့ခါကျတော့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီဘောနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ဒီ confirm ဖြစ်တဲ့ record ပေါ့နော်ဘယ်နေရာတွေမှာတော့
These are the confirmed Gibbon records.
အဲ့ဒါတွေနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့ဒီအချက်လက်တွေတော့ကျွန်တော်ပြန်ပေါင်းထားတယ်ဒါ historical record လွန်ခဲ့တဲ့ရှေ့ပိုင်း
This is the historical record that I have gathered throughout the years. Records dating all the way back to the 1990s. Black dots represent all areas that we've studied gibbons at. The significant, particular significant, you can see that there's a group being studied in Bagoyoma as well. That was in the past. Most likely that they have gone extinct in Yoma area, Yoma ranges. We don't have any data in the Shan region. It's not just about gibbons. The lack of information, knowledge is also for other wildlife as well. Both this is due to security and lack of knowledge of wildlife. We have a lot of records in Yakayoma area and a lot of data in northern Kachin and Sakine area.
record တွေကို historical record တွေကတော့အရင်က report တွေပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ရှာထားတယ်ဟိုလွန်ခဲ့တဲ့ Kingdom Walk တို့ Frank Kingdom Walk တို့လာတဲ့အချိန်တွေကသူတို့ရဲ့မှတ်တမ်းတွေထဲမှာပါတာကျွန်တော်တို့ပြန်ဆွဲထုတ်ထားတဲ့ဥစ္စာတွေရှိတယ်အဲ့တော့ယနေ့အချိန်နောက်ပိုင်းပေါ့နော်နောက်ပိုင်းခေတ်ပေါ့ပြောရင်တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ခေတ်တွေမှာရောဘာတွေလောက်ခဲ့ကြလဲဘယ်လိုနည်းနဲ့ဒီ data တွေစုခဲ့ကြသလဲဆိုတဲ့ဟာ
Nowadays I would like to present the data we've collected in our time. The first ever official Gibbon population survey was done in 2002-2003. It was first carried out in Kakapurazi mountain in Myanmar, the highest peak in Southeast Asia. It was surveyed during the time where the government was trying to designate Kakapurazi as a reserve. This is a transition area where a lot of species diverge. We have found new species there as well. We don't know what method was used to find. I can't confirm whether it was done with auditory method to carry out these surveys, but I'm pretty certain that they did with auditory method. The second Gibbon population survey was done in Mahamyang Wildlife Sanctuary. A lot of people were trained and carry out in Mahamyang area. Also, in terms of designating Mahamyang as a wildlife sanctuary. Professor Warren carried out a lot of training for that survey. After Mahamyai, for the third Gibbon population, it was carried out in Hukang Tiger Reserve. Based on these surveys, Gibbon got a lot of attention. Between Banca, FFI, and BRCF, we've done nationwide Gibbon population survey. We marked a lot of survey sites, but due to constraint of time and money, it was quite limited. But if we have only received more funding and got more time, we could have done more insightful surveys. We've managed to have a few theses out of these surveys. Because it's a nationwide survey, it was spread throughout. There was interview surveys involved as well. During the interview survey, we've asked about Gibbons. We've asked about threats. Human intervention. From these interview surveys, we learn about threats and it's the same. We use the same type of method for population survey. The next survey was done in Poksa Mountain in Yakayoma mountain range. We chose two sites back then. First, it was Indoji and Poksa. We did 4 sample plots in Poksa in 2012. We are planning to do surveys throughout to monitor Gibbon population. In Hukang Tiger Reserve, Nagaland, Hukang Tiger Reserve in Nagaland was carried out by WCS in 2013, using the same survey methods. The next site was Temanthi Wildlife Sanctuary. What I want to say is the frequency of Gibbon survey has increased since 2010, and between 2013 to 2018, we done 5 plots each year, alternatively. Within the 5-year project, we got solid data out of the 3 years. WCS carried another Gibbon survey in Pongarazi Wildlife with 5 plots each year between 2016 and 2019. Mahamyai Wildlife Sanctuary Gibbon survey, another Gibbon survey was done in Mahamyai Wildlife Sanctuary in 2016 with a larger coverage area with 3 listening posts. used to be 4 listening posts, decreased down to 3 listening posts. The next site in 2018 was Indoji. We grid out Indoji Lake, altogether 59 sample plots. But due to constraint in human power, we've only managed to do 2 listening posts. The next ongoing population survey is this current Skywalker survey. Funded by Arcus Foundation, UC Davis, and other donors. This is a joint survey project between FFI. This is one of the information we got in Indoji in terms of recording, in terms of calling. In Susan Borneo, in Myanmar, the duet calls only start around 6. The duet call starts around 6. The survey team have to be there before 6, all the way up till 12 noon. And this does cover all the calls. Between 6 to 12, all the main calls, between 6 to 7, you have 11% of the calls. 7 to 8 a.m., 23% of the calls. The main calls are between 7 to 10 a.m. and decline sharply after 10. So what we could say is we have to be at the listening post before 7, but we try to be there before 6. But the main calls are between 7 and 10 a.m. To recap,
sorry ကျွန်တော်ရှေ့မှာတစ်ခုကြံသွားတာလေးတစ်ခုရှိပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါကဘာလဲဆိုတော့ရခိုင်ရိုးမမှာလည်းတစ်ခေါက်2019မှာလုပ်ခဲ့တာလေးရှိပါတယ် Friends of Wildlife
I forgot one survey that we did that was in 2017 in Yakai Yoma elephant camps using fixed point auditory methods. To summarize all the slides before, given survey started in 2002 and nationwide population survey in 2008-2010. You can see the increase in frequency of the site surveys after 2010. From all the information we've gathered, this is the Gibbon density. This is a general. This is only an approximation. This is not 100% accurate. The first column is Mahamyai, Hukvang, Ponkanrazi, Mahamyai, Yakayoma, and Indoji. If you look back, Yakayoma as the best quality in terms of forest, with very minimal destruction of the forest, with increased group number in Indoji, but you can't summarize as being a good quality gibbon density, because there's a lot of deforestation and degradation in Indoji. Looking back to the presentation yesterday, this might be due to all the degradation of the forest, and all the gibbon groups might be confined to a small area. According to data, Indoji has the largest gibbon density. If you look back at Mahamyang, gibbon density has 2.2, but in 2016 in Mahamyang, the density has decreased down to 1.5. Either within the 12 years, either we have forest degradation or hunting pressure. The first survey, they did 4 fixed point. In 2016, only 2 auditory fixed points. But I can't say for sure which is the cause of the decline of the gibbon density. So what are the conservation effort we've done throughout these years? All the red areas are the sites that we're carrying out conservation works. We are still doing conservation works at these red boxes. The black boxes are the areas where we've done surveys but not carry out conservation efforts. Hukang and Tamandi receive a lot of effort for conservation, as there are other conservation works going on in these areas as well. In Indoji, since 2011, we've been carrying out gibbon surveys and gibbon conservation works. Front of Wildlife is still carrying out gibbon conservation gibbon works in Mahamyang. In Man, we have site-based projects, conservation works carried out at Yakayoma. So we have 7 site-based that we're doing gibbon conservation. This is Imobon area. We have site-based projects, but they are not gibbon specific projects. The main projects carried out there is wildlife sanctuary conservation. It is not specific to gibbon conservation, but wildlife in general. Also, for Gayan Mountain Range, we have done site-based projects, but we have not done any gibbon specific conservation work there. we've achieved great works at all these sites. But I would like to share about one of the success stories is the number 6, Man Wildlife Sanctuary. It has 2 other names as well. It's only about 30,000 acres. But this area is designated just for gibbon conservation. Although we are not naming it Gibbon Wildlife Sanctuary, but this is a gibbon specific sanctuary. This is Myanmar's first gibbon conservation sanctuary. With the help from the Ministry of Forestry, Dr. Ninyijo, who came all the way to the sanctuary to give his support for the project. This is the paperwork is all the way up into the ministry level to get final approval for wildlife sanctuary. This was not for profit project, but an ethical project. Here, other things we propose is reforestation. You'll see a line there, and on the left is Man Wildlife Sanctuary. In 2015, you can see serious degradation there, but after 2019, you'll see that there is reforestation in these areas. This wildlife sanctuary is Gibbon targeted wildlife sanctuary. Another thing that we helped in this area was livelihood for the locals, diversification of income for the locals. This is coffee plantation. This is planted under shades. We support it with technology for better use in terms of coffee plantation. After our support, you can see that there is increase in quality and yield of their coffee. We have even done a Gibbon coffee. This Gibbon coffee came from this wildlife sanctuary area. So with the coffee production, people get to learn more about gibbons and more awareness about gibbons. It was this was presented as an article in Myanmar Times back in 2019.
YouTube link လေးလည်းရှိပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ FFI
another YouTube link
Facebook page တို့ဘာလို့မှာလဲကျွန်တော်တို့ sorry
about Gibbons
မပြီးသေးပါဘူး
Gibbons in that area. You can also see it on FFI Facebook as well or on YouTube. It's a 10-minute video on YouTube. You can go see it for yourself. This is my conclusion. So first population survey has been done since 20 years ago, starting with 2008, 2010 nationwide survey. We have more sites that's been introduced. We managed to do more site-based projects. And we also managed to do surveys in 7 different wildlife reserves. We have a few ongoing projects. We've been using the same method for population estimation. But we have 4 points, 3 points, down to 2 points, but we make sure that it is a consistent method. These are all the different organizations, including UC Davis, that's carrying out Gibbon work in Myanmar. In terms of human resources, we have increased the number of Gibbon researchers throughout the years. Even for myself, I've managed to narrow down my PhD research into Gibbon projects. Another candidate is called Go So, who is also doing a PhD on gibbons in Japan. There are people in Yangon University who's planning to do gibbon research as well. Compare it back 20 years ago, we have more knowledge about the species. We know about the density, about their threats. We're studying habituation in indoor site. This is a long-term site for future students who want to come and do site surveys. If we compare ourselves to China, they started habituation study since 2008. We're about 10 years behind. If we compare it to Thailand, Thailand started 40 years ago in terms of habituation studies. At least we are getting a head start and more students can join in on projects in the future. I hope our gibbon conservation work only gains momentum in the future. From this project, we hope to find new species, both for conservation and for scientific world. If we get attention from people, from the government, and donors, we can increase our effort in conservation works for these new species.
အဲ့တော့အဲ့လိုဒီလည်းရှိလာပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတော့ရှင်းဆက်သွားဖို့ပဲရှိပါတယ်အဲ့တော့အားလုံးဒီ Gibbon နဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့လုပ်နေကြတဲ့ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ common research တွေလုပ်ခဲ့ဖို့တဲ့လူတွေလည်းဆက်ပြီးတော့လုပ်ပါအခြားဘာသာတွေလည်းလုပ်လို့ရပါတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒါတွေကိုလည်း
I would like to encourage all you researchers to not only do wildlife but also Gibbon specific work as well. Thank you.